The Weekly Warp Pipe.
Yeah, here we go.
I never get tired of that music. It's so catchy and good. It's a great way to start a podcast.
I dig that track, and I wonder how many people know like what game it's from. Like, I rarely hear anyone use that music in like YouTube videos or background music. So I was like, you know what? It's got a good soundtrack. I'm going to use it for a podcast.
What's funny is I've played that game a handful of times. I don't know if I've ever got to the level that has that track.
It's fairly early on. It's in the first world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember it? Maybe I just don't remember.
You got to go back and play it and be like, oh, yeah.
Got to go back. For those of you that don't know, I think this is pretty well known for people that listen to this podcast, but that intro music is from Mick Kids.
Mick Kids or MC Kids. I don't know how you want to say it because
it's got to be Mick Kids. It's a McDonald's game. Come on.
Right.
It's Mick.
So go play Mick Kids. It plays just like Super Mario Brothers 3, but with their added quirks to it. Very fun one.
Yeah. Yep. It's good.
But we're not talking McDonald's today. We're talking cartoons.
That's right. Sorry, I'm so used to Warp Pipe Wednesday first, so my brain's on Warp Pipe Wednesday mode. So yes,
we're doing the weekly Warp Pipe, and we decided kind of last minute, but Jay had brought this topic to me to do our favorite Simpson episodes, and I was like, well, it should just be maybe just all about Simpsons, regardless.
All about the Simpsons.
You know, maybe collectibles that we got, games. When we watched the series, when we stopped watching. It's been running for so long, for sure.
It's a great overall topic that there's plenty to speak on. So I think, we're going to have plenty to say about the old yellow Simpsons from Matt Groening. Is it Groening? Am I saying his name right? I feel like I'm butchering his last name.
Oh, I don't think I ever said his last name out loud. So,
all right, Russell, where do you want to start? Like, what's your? I'm asking you, but I'm going to say, what is your first memory of The Simpsons?
Right. So I had to be in, I can't remember if it was grammar school or middle school.
You were, I'll just go ahead and tell you, the first episode, you were not in 8th grade, Russ. The first episode aired December of '89.
Oh, okay.
So you would have been just barely 8 years old.
Okay.
December birthday boy.
And I'm pretty sure I saw the first episode. It was a Christmas episode.
That's
where they
correct.
got Santa's Little Helper.
Yep.
And if you've never seen it before, definitely go back and watch it. And it's not as polished as the later seasons or episodes or whatever. They're still kind of working stuff out, but it's got.
But I think there's a charm to that though. That season 1, season 2, before they completely got it, perfect.
Well, even with, not to compare it or whatever, but just South Park, same thing, right? Early seasons, they were doing it a different way. As to future seasons, they found a more fluent way to make the episode. So I imagine the same with The Simpsons. Different way of drawing it that's maybe more efficient and cleaner, and then they finally get the voices down correctly, what they wanted.
Yeah. So I'll say, I think that somehow I missed the first episode. I was at church. We went to church every Sunday night. And for those of you that remember,
night? Not
yeah,
morning?
Well, my dad was a pastor. We went Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night.
I was going to say, you're just going Sunday night.
No, this was Sunday night. So, and church got out right at 8:00, and The Simpsons came on right at 8. But I remember being in our little class that we had before the church that night, and my friend Daniel Rampy was singing "Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg, Batmobile lost a will, the Joker got away." And I was like, "That's so funny. Where'd you hear that?" And he was like, "Last week on The Simpsons, Bart Simpson was singing it." And I was like, "What?" So then I learned about The Simpsons. I didn't even know what it was. I must have missed the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
But I secretly started going and watching it because I was supposed to be going to bed. But I had this little black and white TV.
Oh wow!
And the TV had a like a jack for headphones.
Right.
So I would stick my little headphones in with my little earmuff style headphones. And I would stand in front of my TV, probably about as far as I am from the camera right now. And and I would just watch this little black and white TV. Yeah, about the size of that TV you have there, Russ, is about what I'm watching. That is that's very similar.
There's a little Sony Trinitron I'm holding up. This one is color though, but it's on a swivel and it does have a little headphone jack right here. So
little jack. Yep. So very similar size to that, probably about like a 12, 16-inch TV. And I would put a blanket down on the floor so the light from the TV wouldn't shine under the door. And I would watch The Simpsons. And this I would do more when I found out that Bart cussed, like say, "What the hell, man?" or whatever it was he said.
Right. I was gonna say I wanted to dive into like, I guess going to church and all that, how that would be watching The Simpsons, where the main character Bart is such a troublemaker and again, swears or whatever.
Yeah. So that wasn't looked upon well by my father. But I was like, I was trying to find like the wholesomeness in it. And I was like, but whatever my excuse was as an 8-year-old trying to justify why I should see this. And then I remember specifically, I was watching this episode where Bart says, "Well, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't." And I think Bart or maybe Homer said it. I can't remember which one.
Okay.
But anyway, because it wasn't just the word with nothing else, like I was used to hearing that curse word, I just walked into the living room one night and I said it. And my dad's like, "Where'd you hear that from?" And I was like, "The Simpsons." He's like, "Yeah, you're not watching that anymore." And I was like, "No, I should have kept my mouth shut.
I should have said something else.
I should have said, eat my shorts or anything else, I caramba.
Right.
So I think he tried. I think it may have been after I said that is when I had to start watching the show with the blanket under the door and with the earphones so nobody would hear it. But I remember running home because my church was right beside my house, like just right across the street. So I just had to run across the street and I would run in, unlock the door. And my parents would kind of mingle because my dad was the pastor, So like it might take them 15 minutes to get home where I would just run straight home.
And they're like, "Well, Jay went to bed. He was very tired."
so like I could at least watch half the episode, right?
Right.
But anyway, fast forward to 2003. It was like one of the first Black Fridays I had ever been to. And I was going because I was addicted to this little game. You've heard of it. It's called Halo. And it was going to be on sale for $10 at Best Buy for Black Friday, 2003. And also while I was there, I saw they had The Simpsons season 1 for $10. No, not VHS, DVD.
DVD. Oh, okay.
Yeah, season 1, $10. So I spent $20 and I got Halo and The Simpsons. And I remember going back and watching that first season of The Simpsons and just like memories flooding back. Like there's this one episode where they go to, I guess like it's like a work party, like almost like a work what's the word I'm looking for? Picnic, like a work picnic.
Gotcha.
For Homer. And it's just kind of a weird episode. There's like some singing involved. I think Marge gets drunk on some punch, and it's some other funny things happen. But I just remember watching that and like I just could remember seeing it as a kid. It was pretty nostalgic. So
yeah, I'd like to go back and check out that first season too. I believe it's streaming on Disney Plus now. I want to say I think it's on there. It's definitely streaming somewhere.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, I think I have season 1 through 6 or 7. I think the last one I got the Homer head, and then the one after it wasn't the Homer head. It was like they did something different and then they went back. And I was frustrated by that because it didn't make my boxes line up perfectly.
And that's a big thing in the community too. I think they had it. I believe I watched like some YouTube video or whatever on it where if you got the Homer head, I think you were able to like message somewhere in the company and they would send you a regular box as well.
I need that box. That box, Russ.
So I wonder if you could find those on eBay, just like the blank box. So you're
maybe because I need it
flush.
So, and it was about season 7 or maybe season 8 where I kind of like really lost interest in The Simpsons. And I've been a couple of years ago, I was going back and watching some videos on YouTube because that's what we do. And I came across this video called The Day the Simpsons Died.
Interesting.
And it was like, I think it was like this particular episode in season 8. I
Okay.
can't remember. And it had something to do with Principal Skinner and maybe Principal and Superintendent Chalmers or something. But like, it was like something happened and they built you up to this point, and then they
Hmm.
basically flip flopped it on you at the end, and people were like mad about it. But anyway, and I was like, that's pretty funny because like that was like pretty much where I left off with it, and it just happened to coincide
With that time, yeah.
with that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have an exact date. Opposite to you, my mom didn't really care what I was watching cartoon wise, so Simpsons was all go, Beavis and Butthead, I can watch all of those. So definitely was coming home, no problem watching the series. And of course I got the Bart Simpson poster. I still have it. I had it in my bedroom,
Nice.
and it says underachiever, and it has him like on a skateboard, I think with a slingshot or something like that.
And doesn't it say "and proud of it"?
It might. I'll have to go back and look because this is from my childhood too. We got my Ren and Stimpy poster here, but the Bart Simpson one is landscape, so it doesn't fit well on the wall. But I
Right.
definitely break that one out. I had that, and I had a big green button, like 10-inch button with
Oh
him. I think with
yeah.
a slingshot because that was big, like these giant buttons in the '90s. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Did you ever have any of the t-shirts?
I don't think I had the T-shirts. I had
So
the button, the poster, and then we can get into the like toys, I guess, or
I remember my
T-shirts.
sorry, my cat's creeping in and out of my room here. Um, I remember my mom took me to TJ Maxx and they had all these t-shirts. And I ended up getting, it was a blue t-shirt with Bart Simpson, and I wanted the one that said don't have a cow man, but she didn't let me have that one. But we found one that said cool your jets.
Yeah,
And because that didn't have like any negative connotation like birthing a cow or or eat my shorts or whatever, she was
right.
like, okay, okay, you can have the cool my jets one. Cool
Yeah.
or cool your jets. So I had a blue t-shirt with Bart that had cool your jets. But Russ, do you remember the bootleg Simpsons t-shirts back in the day?
Wasn't he orange instead of yellow? I want to say it was
Well,
a different color.
well, I will say, I don't know politically correct way to say this, but I'll try to say as politically correct as possible. But like they would try to like they there was an African American style Bart Simpson.
Okay.
So he had like brown skin, and then like he would be dressed up in like more like streetwear and like have like Jordans on and stuff. And they just and then like but they just had like all these different bootlegs of it. And maybe there was an orange one, I don't know. But the drawing was always a little off because Bart, as simple as he looks, he's kind of
Right.
hard to draw if you don't get his proportions right. Like I was actually drawing him earlier
Hmm.
because I knew we were talking about this tonight, and like I can never get the nose and the upper lip quite right.
Right.
It always looks a little wonky, but
I'm
I'm also
sure
not an artist.
I sketched them. I'm sure a bunch growing up. And I was gonna say I remember getting. I want to say I'm trying to think where they came from, but I have a plush of Bart and Maggie with like Maggie's head is like hard and the rest of her body
Hmm.
is soft. I don't know if it was from a claw machine or if it was like, Burger King or something like that.
So I think you nailed it with your comment there. I'm pretty positive that right in the peak of the Simpsons popularity, Burger King came out with a Bart, a Maggie, a Lisa, a Homer, and a Marge, and I think I had the Bart and the Homer from Burger King. And if you feel like looking it up while we're talking about it, feel free. But they were pretty cool. Yeah, there they are, and they had like little paper
Accessories.
accessories. Yeah, like Bart had the skateboard. I think Homer had a bowling ball. Lisa had a saxophone. Maggie may have had a bear or something, and Marge maybe had a purse or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
But those were cool. I wouldn't mind having those again if I could ever run across them for a good price.
Yeah, they're freaking
At
sweet.
least one. I would at least like the Bart one.
Right. Very cool.
So
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, I definitely had those for sure. Just trying to think what else I had. I mean, again, you could just almost jump into all of the any kind of memorabilia. It was like, Turtles was there. Well, Simpsons too. Shirts,
Yeah.
buttons, plushes.
So I had a purple Simpson fanny pack with a
Nice.
bunch of
Yeah.
little Bart Simpson heads on it.
I could picture that.
Yeah,
Did
it was pretty awesome.
did you have Simpsons Sing the Blues?
I don't know if I had it, but I know for a fact somebody I knew had it, and I ended up borrowing it and listening to it. But I
Sing
think
the
I had it
Blues.
on. I don't think I had it on. I don't think I had it on CD. I think I just had it on cassette tape.
I have yes, I have mine still on cassette tape as well. Let's see, that's what it looks like right there.
Yep,
Remember that cover?
yep.
I
So
haven't
cool.
listened
So
to it in years. I'm curious now. I want to look on. Is it on Spotify? You think it'd be?
I
You
have
want to
no
memorize it?
idea. Possibly.
Simpsons Sing the Blues.
Do the Bartman. Do the Bartman, or something like that, right?
It could. Yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to it forever. Simpsons best songs. Let's see. Sing. It is. It's on there.
It's on there. That's it.
If you guys got Spotify, you can add Simpsons Sing the Blues. This came out in 1989. Yep, Do the Bartman's on there.
That came out in '89. That's pretty wild because that's when the first episode came out.
Where's the speaker? It's very like Bell Bib DeVoe. I want to like.
I don't even know what that means, Russ.
That's a band, Bell Bib DeVoe.
You speaking over my head here.
They leaned heavily into like the R&B ish like groups that were, I'd say, coming out with music then. But Simpsons Sing the Blues. I'm going to listen to that tomorrow. Yeah, that came out, and then of course, video games came out as well. NES, Super Nintendo, even onto the PlayStation 2. Trying to think what I think that might have been. I don't think there was anything on PS3.
There was Super Nintendo, Bart's Nightmare.
Right. Well, I say NES, Super Nintendo, and
Oh, okay.
no, well, because there was stuff on Wii, so it continued onto that. Because I think there was Simpsons Bowling.
And did you
On
say
Wii.
Dreamcast?
No, I didn't mention
Wasn't it?
Dreamcast. Maybe there was.
What was the Simpsons where you like rode around?
Yeah,
Was
Hit
that
and
on just
Run.
what
Right.
was that on? Was
I
it on
think that was
GameCube
on.
or
Yeah, GameCube and PS2.
PS2 and Xbox maybe?
Maybe it listed on the. I'm on the Wikipedia too. I have that open.
Yeah, I can't remember. But while you're talking about that, I want to make mention before we forget that this was originally a short on the Tracy Ullman show.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Remember that? So before it was its own
Slightly.
thing. And also, I have the exact air date, Russ. It was December 17th, 1989. And what is your birthday again?
December 19th.
So 2 days before you turned 8, The Simpsons aired.
What a present.
The gift that keeps on giving, Russ. Seriously, because it's still going on today.
Yeah, it does say, let's see, I'll scroll back up, but it's definitely one of the longest running shows. Since its debut, December 17th, 1989, 767 episodes of the show have been broadcast. It's the longest running American animated series, longest running American sitcom, and longest running American scripted primetime television series, both in seasons and individual episodes. And then there was a Simpson movie that was released July 27th, 2007.
I remember going and seeing it live.
Yeah.
And being slightly disappointed. I don't know why.
I mean, what more could they do? I guess. It's
I don't
just
know.
Simpsons on a bigger screen with a longer episode.
So I got to say this, and this may sound strange, but one of the things I really liked about The Simpsons early on was, with the exception of the Halloween episode, I think that everything that happened in the show could have happened in real life. To me, it was almost like a sitcom, like, well, I mean, I
Well,
guess some
exactly. It is
sitcoms
right.
take liberties, like, you know, like Family Matters, Steve Urkel turned into Stefan Urkel, like that can really happen. But
Right, but the
what,
base, I guess, of it.
but I feel like I feel like for a couple years, The Simpsons was grounded in reality,
Absolutely.
with the exception of the Halloween episodes. And I always liked that, like everything that happened to them kind of could happen in real life. And I think I kind of like lost a little bit of my love for The Simpsons when it started getting more outlandish. I mean, I guess they had to take it in new directions and it kind of evolved a little bit, but
Mhm.
I always thought the early on episodes were the best when it was like this could have been real actors that did this. This could take a place in my life, you know. It
Right,
was more.
right.
It just seemed a bit more relatable. I
You
mean,
could project yourself onto the characters. You're like, "Oh, I can relate to either, maybe Millhouse because he's getting bullied and by
yeah.
Nelson, and that happens to me at school, and I wish I had a best friend like Bart that could stick up for me," or,
Me and you could have been Bart and Milhouse, Russ.
get a
You made
treehouse
me
going.
bleed my own blood.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up was making me think of other characters and stuff, but, um, Ned Flanders, do you know there's a metal band that's based on Ned Flanders?
No, that's hilarious. Did they
Let me
play
see.
Gooses love geeses, geeses love ganders, everyone else loves Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders metal band.
Heidily ho, neighbor.
Okay, they are called Oakley Dokley,
What a great name.
and let me see if we can. Here we go. Share this here.
Oh my gosh, they all look like Ned.
So they
That is
green
hilarious.
sweater with the pink showing. Check them out. They're on YouTube and Spotify and all that. Oakley Dokley.
Oh my gosh, that is brilliant.
So I think that's pretty fun that came out of that.
No, I love it.
Just so shows how far the Simpson culture goes.
Did you ever see the episode where he opened the was it called the Leftorium or something? It was like a business for only
The left-handed
left-handed ops.
yes, yeah, yeah, left-handed scissors, and I was
Yeah,
like, I never thought of that. Like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
that's so funny. Uh, one of my other favorite episodes as being a hockey fan, and I remember being really hyped because they advertised this, but there was an episode where like Bart and Lisa played hockey, and it was
Okay,
like right when I was like so into it, and I was like, "This is amazing!" Like the Simpsons are playing hockey. Like I love that episode. Pretty
nice,
cool.
nice. Yeah, I'm trying to one that stands out for me was the episode where they have this like homeless guy kind of comes onto the show, and he's like talking to Lisa. I don't know, remember the whole details,
Does he sound like Michael Jackson?
but he sounds just like Michael Jackson. And I thought it was so unique. It was obviously this big, like white dude, and he wasn't Michael Jackson, but he's like,
Right,
I started talking high like this, and people started respecting me more, and this and that. And then him and Lisa did a song together towards
right.
the end, and that always stands out in my mind.
And there was one where like Lisa like connected with like Bleeding Gums Murphy, like the saxophone guy.
Oh, okay.
Like they kind of became friends and she really like respected him. I don't know if he like passed away in that episode or what, but one of the ones I always thought was really cool was there was an episode and it was like a Thanksgiving episode. And it
Okay.
was like the family was coming over and they were all arguing and Bart was being a pain in the butt. And like I think he like ruins like he accidentally like throw like Lisa makes this like centerpiece for like the table and Bart like knocks into the fire and he like ends up running away and like ruining Thanksgiving. If I may be combining two episodes, but I think this is the same one. But I always thought that was like super relatable.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, again, grounded in reality, something could happen with
Yeah.
that. And I like you said, I really enjoyed the Halloween episodes. I
Oh yeah,
thought
those are
that was
great.
so cool. Having the treehouse of horrors was like such a great tradition. Like I always love those anthology like movie marathons, and you get the separate episodes within it, and it
Yep.
tied together so well with again Burger King was doing like toys, and I remember the commercials kind of tied together with the Halloween thing, and it was like, all right, get your Halloween Simpson toys at Burger King.
And the other thing, and this is going back to my thought on really enjoying the episodes that were grounded in reality, but it was like, okay, so you have like your regular episodes, they're grounded in reality, but hey, this time we're going to give you these Halloween episodes where things can kind of go off the wall a little bit. So it made those feel a little more special. You know what I mean? And then the other thing I want to say about the Halloween episodes was I always liked how they changed their names a little bit, almost like in the Castlevania game. You know how it's like Simon Belmondo and
Right. Okay, yeah.
McShreks or whatever. That's like how they would like name themselves. Like it would be like Bat Greening or whatever. You know, instead of Matt, it would say Bat or something like that.
Oh, you're saying in the
In
credits.
the credits, yes.
I don't
Sorry,
think
not
I
to be.
noticed that. I thought you meant in the show, like they were just
No, yeah, yeah. As the credits would roll, they would have like their names would be altered to be like something spooky or scary.
Gotcha. And speaking of that, changing the credits and this and that, every intro is different of the show.
That's right. There's always a gag.
That's like a 700 something different intros to the show. When they get to that couch, they change that part. So your beginning is still the same of how everything happens, but
Oh, the other thing that changes is what Bart writes on the
and
chalkboard.
yes, that is right. Whatever he's going across. And I'm like, man, that takes something to keep coming up with fresh ideas that aren't stale.
And the other thing that's interesting about that intro is when Maggie gets scanned, you can't see it because it happens so quickly, but the price that flashes up is like the average. It was either the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly average cost of a baby. So like that was like a little Easter egg thrown in there. I can't remember exactly the time frame, but
Right. Nice.
yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That's fun. Yeah, we say video games. We talked about. We didn't say about playing them though. What were your thoughts on the games? Nintendo was real big coming out, so of course Nintendo had to come out with some Simpsons games.
So what I remember the most is this commercial where Bart is playing the Nintendo and he's got his controller and he's like on his bed and he's like jerking his controller around and he's getting kind of tangled up in his blanket, and it just made the game seem. I think it was a Bart versus the Space Mutants commercial, and I remember wanting that game so bad, and then I'm not sure I ever got it or played it. It's possible I rented it. And I guarantee you, I felt much like James Rolfe and was extremely disappointed in it. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is crap. This game sucks. I don't like it.
Let's see. Here it is.
Bart, go to bed.
Sure thing, Dad.
It's Bart versus the Space Mutants for your NES.
Rumba.
Only Bart Simpson can save the Earth.
Okay. Ooh.
Get the Simpsons game for your NES from Acclaim. Bart!
See, like that makes it look so fun. Like Bart's going crazy.
Well, it shows like
Homer's
the
yelling
mummy
at him.
thing. I'm like, I've never gotten there to the mummy.
Exactly. We've never made it that far.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I rented the game. The cover is awesome. Like, it makes you want to get into it. But I had no clue what to do or how to complete.
No.
I don't think I've ever even gotten past the first level, like until a few years ago. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, you
same
need to
here.
cover all the stuff that is this one single color, red or purple or whatever, and then you can pass the level.
Yeah, I know I've never made it past the second level. I mean, it's another game that I would like to complete at some point in my life, but we'll see if it ever happens.
Right. I will say the Game Boy games, though, I had better luck with enjoying those. They had Bart versus the Juggernauts, Bart escapes Camp Deadly, and there's one with Homer that's like Bart and the Beanstalk, I think, where it's a play on that. But I played the other twos a lot and really enjoyed those ones. They were difficult, but I still had a good time with those ones on the Game Boy.
I think Bart versus the World is a bit better than Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Okay.
But there's also one called Bart versus Radioactive Man, I think.
On NES, yep.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the only one I don't have. I have the other two, and then I have the Krusty's Funhouse one, which I really hate that game. because I don't know
That's
what the heck
right.
I'm
Yeah,
doing.
the crusty ones came out. Yeah, trying to see here what Radioactive Man looked like. I don't think I might own it, but I don't know if I ever played it.
I definitely don't own this.
Oh yeah, I had played this one a little bit. I mean, it looks like Bart versus Space Mutants, so similar graphics, but you got a different objective.
Why do I feel like I've played this?
You're like in a junkyard, kind of avoiding things, but you're dressed as Bartman, so you get like laser vision or whatever. So
Maybe I'm just remembering James Rolfe talking about this, and that's why it feels familiar.
Right.
Looks like Bart has one eye.
Yeah, because it's a side profile of him.
Yeah.
I will say I ended up going to a like indoor flea market or thrift store or something we were at, and I did end up picking up a sweet Bartman poster that
Nice.
I'm hoping to get framed. I'll probably, once I get to the new place, we'll probably be framing a whole bunch of stuff to put up, and yeah, that'll be looks sweet. I'll put that next to my underachiever.
There you go.
Poster there.
You got to tell me next time you go to your mom's or send it to me. Like, I think it says I'm proud of it.
Yeah. I mean, well, right, I could probably just look up the poster, right?
There you go.
Simpsons Bart under Achiever poster. Okay, here it is. Let's where are we? Remove this and screen share this. If you guys are watching, you'll be able to see it. So it does say underachiever, and with the little speech bubble, he says, "And proud of it, man."
I'm proud of it, man. Yep. The one I remembered was the one where he's holding the slingshot there.
The slingshot here.
Yeah, that one.
Nice.
That's the image I remember. See if you can find the Cool Your Jets t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure that's up there.
I would love to see that just because it's been forever.
I mean, I'm sure maybe they made it into a poster too. It's him on the skateboard, leaning on a skateboard.
I think so. I think it was that blue one at the top.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. It opened up in a new window. Can I zoom in? Well, I guess
it's all good.
This one, they're all the same.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I had.
Cool Your Jets, man.
Pretty funny, huh?
So, was say on the topic of video games. Obviously, everyone played the Simpsons arcade game. That's where it was like, whoa, this is
that was really, really well done. I actually played that at Jared's house from Retro Gaming Pandemic when I was there because he has that cabinet from Arcade 1-Up.
Right, Arcade 1-Up has recently released it, so you can get it for your home. My buddy Ganyman got one, and he ended up getting a replacement like panel, so it looks a little bit nicer, and it had better buttons and stuff with, I think, different art. So he like beefed up the cabinet.
Nice.
Yeah, that one, and it was like Turtles. Like you had to play those in the 90s.
Those two were classic.
And I played it a ton. My mom used to work at a bowling alley, and I would go with her on weekends. Sometimes if she didn't have a babysitter, so I hang out in the arcade that they had there while she was waiting tables, and I'd like run up to her and try to get some quarters, go play some games. So I'd play a little bit, or I watch other people play the Simpsons game, and it was so awesome. You choose your character, and it's a beat 'em up style game, and then they had the cool little bonuses in between where you're like pumping up balloons.
Yep.
Like, such a good story. And I remember just being with the kids and beating it, us getting to the ending. We're like, yeah,
that's so cool. So Russ, I don't know if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but I don't remember if it's at Barefoot Landing or if it's at Broadway at the beach, but I think it's Broadway at the beach. They have a full-sized Quickie Mart that you can shop in.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I can't remember if I ever actually went inside it, but I walked by it a few times. But you should search it up real quick.
Quickie Mart in
Broadway at the beach, Quickie Mart. It's pretty cool. There's even like a crack in the side of it or something. There's like, I hope it's still there. I don't even know if it's still there anymore. This was like 10, 15 years ago.
I'm sure.
So it's definitely like a destination place if you ever go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe you can get yourself a Slurpee.
It looks just like out of the cartoon there, with the bright colors next to it. A dull brick building.
What's inside there is like a Slurpee machine.
Oh, to get it
on the left with the green. A squishy. Yeah, squishies. That's what it was called. Squishy.
Now, I will say I have been to Universal Studios, and they have a whole Simpsons land there. And they have
cool.
a Moe's Burger place there that you can go and get food in. And they have a little like bar area where you can get like Duff beer.
That's awesome. I wonder what Duff beer tastes like.
Universal.
It's probably just like Bud Light.
Land. I didn't even spell land right.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, because
that looks awesome.
They have, it's like set up kind of like a carnival. So like the rides are all set up carnival based. They have the regular Simpsons ride, and then they have other themed rides where you like, whack a thing to send the bell up and you win something, or shoot a basketball and you can win plushes. But you can get the donuts if you want and eat at the burger place as well. But we'll have to see what happens, because once the license runs up, I think Disney, since it's on Disney Plus, I believe Disney owns Simpsons, so I don't think Universal's able to re-up their contract with it.
So they might have to tear it all down just because of that.
Right, think so. I mean, I don't know what the legality is and all that stuff, but they might end up losing it, unfortunately.
What are they going to do with all those characters?
Here's they got the Krusty Burger. That's where you can eat.
Oh man, you're making me hungry, Russ.
And then there's a picture of Moe's.
Moe's, it looks just like it. It's so cool.
Yeah. So you
got like outside. the Moe's logo and like the classic green and orange, like I don't even know what you would call those windows. Like maybe like stained glass.
Yeah, stained glass looking. Yeah, and they got the big donut guy.
Lard lad.
So a lot of cool stuff.
In one of the Halloween episodes, and he like
he's like, it's like Godzilla almost.
Yeah.
So I'll have to see. I am going to Universal in California. And I believe our tickets should line up. I know there's usually 2 parks in Universal, whatever. We're going there so we could go to the Super Mario Land or World or whatever it's called, because it's completed in California. It's still coming in Florida, so it's not there yet. But it's a small park, so we can do it fairly quickly. So if we have time, I don't know if there's a Simpsons area in the California Universal, but I'll definitely check it out.
Ask Aaron, he would know. I would imagine he would know, or you could just Google it.
Right.
Either way.
Maybe I'll just be surprised.
Or that. So here's a question for you, Russ. Who is your favorite Simpsons character?
I mean, it probably has to be Bart, right? Because we grew up being like younger.
Yeah, I mean,
relating most to him. We were about what his age was there. Why would I be like, oh, I relate to Homer? He's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, unless you don't want to, if you don't want to go main cast, right? You don't want to do the family. Let's see. Then you can branch out a little bit. Maybe Side-Sewed Bob. He's a little wacky.
He's a little
crazy.
D Bart D. His tattoo, D Bart D. Die Bart die. I was gonna say the opposite and say Krusty.
And say Krusty, yeah.
Hey kids, that sounds more like somebody else. But anyway, that was a terrible impression. That sounded like Mr. Crab. Oh, SpongeBob, me boy.
But yeah, it's so cool how they expanded upon so many more characters, right? That you got the main family, but then it just keeps going on. You got what that I'm trying to think. Wiggum,
Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Who was that? What? Super Nintendo what?
So instead of Superintendent Chalmers, like I feel like he's been called Super Nintendo Chalmers. I don't know if that was in like an episode or just like a something people made up
Some would be
outside
a
of
little
the
meme or
Simpsons,
something.
but yeah.
Then you got Nelson with the. I say there's so many quotable phrases or sounds, I guess, from the show with these
Yeah.
characters. You got that. You got comic book guy, right?
Yeah.
Who's your
Hey,
typical?
I would lick off my nacho fingers.
And then the spin-off, like you said, we got comic book guy, and then they brought into Radioactive Man instead of having Superman or so. Okay, what's in the Simpsons universe? What would the comics be that they read? They can't have Superman in there, so they came up with their own stuff. So that was
that's
unique.
hilarious, right?
Yeah. Oh, and funny enough, if you guys don't know, fun fact, so that you have Radioactive Man, and then he has his sidekick,
Particle Boy.
Fallout
Oh,
Boy.
I thought it was Particle Boy.
So it's
Maybe I made
Fallout
that
Boy
up.
because that's where the band Fallout Boy got the idea to name their band Fallout Boy.
That's funny. Where did I come up with Particle Boy?
I mean, I guess that would fit too, but I guess the fallout from nuclear explosions, right?
Yeah, like Fallout the TV show or video game. Man, what was I going to tell you? I just had something in my brain that I wanted to bring up, but my ADD kicked in, and now I don't remember. Play the Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. I don't know. Let's just keep talking. I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
What other slogans and catchphrases they got with the Simpsons?
I just can distinctively hear Krusty laugh.
Right. Yeah.
I can't do it, but that was my best effort.
We got Mr. Burns. Excellent.
Release the hounds.
Yes.
Smithers, release the hounds. I find Smithers and Mr. Burns' relationship super creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be, right, though?
Hey, Mr. Burns, you really turn me on. When he's like on his computer screensaver, you know? Like, that's weird.
How about the episode when I'm trying to think what the heck was like nuclear war went out and they had like Twinkies. I'm trying to think.
Is it the one where he gets in the spruce moose and he has like the crazy long fingernails?
I'm gonna have to try to Google
quick to the spruce moose.
Simpsons.
Oh, how about this, Russ? Well, before I forget, how about the Simpsons predicting a lot of things that happen in the future?
Right, we didn't even touch on that.
Like, that's creepy, right? Like Donald Trump as being the president. And
we watched a full video on how it's like mathematically possible for this to happen, where it seems like they're predicting the future essentially. But
I'm still pretty sure that Matt Groening is a time traveler that came in on a UFO, shifted times frames, and is relaying the future to us through The Simpsons, which is why it hasn't stopped airing.
Could be.
That's exactly what's happening. Mark my words. Oh, Blink 182 was in The Simpsons. How did we forget that? Absolutely, they were. It was like a dream come true for Mark Hoppus, who used to collect the figures when they show us on an episode of Cribs. You can see Mark, and he has all the little characters in his closet.
Oh yeah, here we go.
See, your boy knows.
I didn't even catch that episode.
Says some Blink 182 fan you are.
There's like
Let's trash this place.
Who's on drums? Travis or Scott?
Travis.
I'm Bart Simpson, and hey, are you skateboarding legend Tony Hawk?
That's what my business cards say.
And then it comes back.
Oh wait, that's my old phone number.
Yeah, I never seen this episode. February 16th, 2003. Barding Over, where he meets Tony Hawk. And then Blink 182's there.
Hey, Blink 182!
We have names, you know.
We're big fans of The Simpsons,
Yes.
and we've been watching the show for years.
That's pretty neat.
You didn't know that?
So they were in The Simpsons and they were in American Pie.
That's right. And they were in Idle Hands. Well, at least Tom was.
Yeah, because I was going to say Offspring played in that.
He serves burgers.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah.
So lots of cameos for sure. What about I think it's great the Adam West is in there as the
Oh
isn't
yeah,
he
it's Batman.
right.
Huh,
It's like
huh.
so many good characters in the show that they just keep bringing out.
Yeah, and they've had tons of special guests, and
Absolutely. Like we said, yeah, merchandise, games, music.
now I'm gonna have to go watch season 1. Thanks, Russ.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to do more, I guess, movies. They just did that kind of one, but I was like, TV works. So why do we need a movie?
Yeah, it's like Simpsons are better in 30-minute segments or 23-minute segments with commercials.
Right.
So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Did you ever get any of the Christmas DVDs? Excuse me, I just burped in the microphone. Sorry, people. I was like Barney. What? That's sorry, Homer.
No, yeah, I never got any of the Christmas CDs or CDs or
sorry,
DVDs.
like DVDs. Yeah, like
Okay.
this, like the little like special DVDs with Christmas
Yeah.
episodes. There's a really funny one where they make fun of like Furbies, and except they call them Funzos, and basically like this the school is like losing funding, so basically like a toy company comes into the school and like basically like uses all the kids for market research, and like they make like the perfect toy,
Right.
and it's this little thing called Funzo, and he looks just like a Furby, and like it's funny, it's like its little stomach opens up and a flower comes out and he goes, I have a flower for ooh. And then there's this one part where he's like Funzo's got like these little pencils in his hands, and he kills the little Krusty toy and the Malibu Stacy toy, and he has like their heads on the like pikes. And it's like, with Funzo the party never stops.
Yeah, like it's a little play on like Chucky or something, or
yeah, it's great.
Nice. Yeah,
Yep,
certainly a good time with the Simpsons. So definitely enjoyed it. I don't know why. I guess I stopped. Maybe I found other shows and I just stopped watching it, or maybe I didn't know when it was on, or I was busy at that time. Probably started working, and I'm like, oh, I don't know when it's premiering anymore. I wasn't looking at the TV guide to see when Simpsons came out. So now
There's
it's
probably
easier to either buy the DVD box sets or stream it if you got that streaming service.
Well, when I stopped watching it is when the government decided that the signal we were using for TV that we had used for hundreds of years, just kidding, probably like 50 years, that was perfectly fine. When they got rid of that signal, made you buy that stupid box from Walmart to get the new signal that was better, that actually sucks way worse. That's when I stopped watching The Simpsons. Thanks a lot, government. You suck.
Blast.
Do you remember that? You know what I'm talking about? That stupid box?
Yeah, because my mom had to get like a
man, F that box. That pissed me off so bad.
She has a like a HDMI plugs in, and then it's a rabbit ear antenna thing to get some like local stations.
You can't even get regular TV channels anymore, hardly. It's BS. I'm mad already thinking about it. Let's move on. Forget this all. Move on.
So if you guys want to call in to the show, leave us a voice message. We got a phone number. It's 949-682-9277. It's 949-682-WARP. Leave a voice message. Play it on the show. We'll answer your question or whatever you have.
Tell us your favorite Simpsons character and do your best impression. Jay says so.
Oh, there we go. Make sure you tell us your name, where you're calling from.
That's right.
Some people just jump right in. Or you can stay anonymous, I guess. I don't know.
Some people are just so ready to tell us what they got to say, Russ. They don't even know hi. No, it's Bob from New York. It's just they just go right into it. Which hey, I
got a bone to pick with you.
That's right. I appreciate the enthusiasm
though. Check out our website, theweeklywarpipe.com. We got all our episodes up there. Merch. You can get t-shirts, mugs, magnets, stickers, all that jazz.
Not mugs with our mugs, though.
Not yet. Nope.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's about it. Come back every week to check out more episodes. I don't know what next week's going to be, but it'll be a surprise to you as well.
It's a surprise to us, usually.
We still haven't come up with a new slogan yet. We're trying to figure that one out.
Call and leave us a slogan.
Yeah,
I didn't. I was thinking about it today. I couldn't think of nothing.
something. Thanks for going back in time with us. Feel free to come back next week to jump into the warp pipe.
Right.
Something like that.
I'm empty here, Russ. I got nothing.
You got nothing. All right. Well, guys, enjoy your week. Hopefully you enjoyed the nostalgia. We'll see you next week.